Hey Yesenia.
Hey Laura, what's up?
Nothing, what you doing?
Just doing some research on a battle of World War One,
The Zeebrugge battle?
the Zeebrugge battle,
Okay.
or also known as the Zeebrugge Raid.
Okay, and where did this take place?
Oh, it took place at Bruges, Belgium. It was a port a port of Zeebrugge that the Germans held.
Okay, and so who was all involved in this rage?
It was the British Royal Navy and the German Imperial Navy.
Okay, and when did this happen?
It took place on the morning of April 23rd, 1918.
And, what were the objectives of each side, or what did they want from this raid?
Well, the British intended to sink the older British ships in the canal entrance to prevent German vessels from leaving the port. And since the German Imperial Navy was occupying the harbor to keep their U-boats and supply ships stationed in the port, this was a threat to the Allied supply carrying ships, and especially in the English Channel. So the objective of the Germans was to defend the position that they already had on the port.
Oh, and what was the total number of men involved in this war?
There was a total of 1,700 men.
Oh, and what were the casualty numbers?
The British had around 583 casualties, and then the Germans had around 24 casualties.
And what was the whole outcome of this war, and what did they get out of it?
Well, while the British losses were heavy, an old submarine did destroy the mole connecting the bridge to the shore after it exploded containing explosives. The men showed great bravery and teamwork because all the men were aware that their commanders and generals would appreciate their effort, and generals knew their men would carry them to safety in case of an injury. And perhaps the British unity was what kept them organized and helped them succeed. And the raid upon Ostend was, however, a clear failure, but the raid on Zeebrugge was publicized as a British victory, and many medals were awarded, specifically 7 Victoria Crosses.
Okay.
And there was a first attempt to raid Zeebrugge, and it was made earlier on April 2nd of that same year.
But
and
clearly it was a fail, right?
Yeah.
So was the second one then?
The second one was successful, but the first one was canceled due to weather conditions because the wind had changed directions, and that would affect the smoke screen that the British would have to set in order to be able to attack the Germans. And the other attempt was made on April 23rd, and it was a concurrent attack on Ostend. And then two of the 3 black ships were scuttled in the narrowest part of the Bruges Canal, and one of the 2 submarines rammed a ship called the Viaduct, which linked the shore and the mole to the isolated German garrison.
Okay.
So then some black ships were sunk in the wrong places, and the canal was opened after a few days to the submarines at that high tide.
So would you consider this total war or just a minor battle fought like the rest?
This had an aspect of total war, and it can be seen in both the defensive preparations of the Germans and also the offensive preparations of the British. The Germans, when they were mobilizing for defense, they began to mobilize all the big weapons. They had a big battery they named it after Kaiser Wilhelm II, and it was to the east of the port where the British were trying to enter. And the British offensive showed aspects of total war because they used the smoke screens, which was like what it sounds like. It used smoke to kind of like so the Germans wouldn't see them coming.
Okay, so just kind of so they wouldn't know when they're coming, just block them off.
Yep. So, yeah.
Alright, well thanks for the lesson on the Battle of Zeebrugge, Yesenia.
Yeah, no problem.